Cultivating an unshakable sense of mental strength and resilience requires eliminating detrimental habits rooted in irrationality, impulsiveness, and avoidance of discomfort. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism provides a framework of virtues like courage, justice, and self-control that allow one to transcend destructive patterns holding back growth. By targeting the top 10 anti-stoic behaviors that hijack wisdom and lead to dysfunctional reactions, we can align our choices with timeless principles for realizing incredible inner potential. This guide will identify the core toxic habits, behaviors, and mindsets that diminish mental empowerment and undermine living for the highest human good. Replacing these patterns with proactive self-mastery lifts the ceiling on personal capability and allows responding to difficulties from a centered state of emotional invulnerability. 1. Giving in to destructive emotions. The Stoics preached that rather than be controlled by our emotions, we must use reason and wisdom to determine our reactions. Giving in to anger, jealousy, self-pity, or other toxic states indulges our lower selves rather than uplifting our human dignity. When faced with triggers, pause before responding. Use logic and perspective to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively reacting. Practice self-talk to regain composure. Channel energy into problem-solving. 2. Blaming outside forces, playing the victim and displacing responsibility for difficulties onto outside people or events is an avoidance of personal accountability. Regardless of external factors, the Stoic sage takes ownership of responses. Adopt the language of private agency like I choose to. I will decide to. I am responsible for. Own mistakes, apologizing without justification. Analyze lessons rather than faults. Reframe issues as opportunities for growth. 3. Dwelling on the past, obsessing over the unchangeable is a useless rumination that ignores the present. Learning from the past can inform future choices, but excessive backward glances waste today's potential. When nostalgia or regret arises, consciously bring attention back to this moment. Make now count through meaningful pursuits like connecting with loved ones, using strengths, and following passions. Progress requires movement. 4. Fearing the future, allowing worries, anxieties, and the unknown to dominate steals the courage to master current challenges. The future's uncertainty is guaranteed. Flexibility and approaching issues with rational boldness are critical. When anxieties about tomorrow creep in, gently bring awareness to the tasks that need your engagement today. Prepare and plan for possibilities within control. Release the uncontrollable. 5. Avoiding difficult truths, turning away from complex realities, flaws, or fears leads to living in denial rather than truth. Leaning into adversity with eyes wide open cultivates wisdom and resilience. Uncomfortable growth comes from conquering complacency. Have courage for self-inquiry. Identify weaknesses and biases without self-judgment. Seek counsel from wise friends or professionals to gain well-rounded feedback. Use obstacles as teachers, not enemies. 6. Seeking external validation, needing endless praise or approval from others roots fragile confidence externally rather than external personal worth. Define your values clearly to rely on an inner compass for choices. Consider input respectfully, then filter through your ethics and knowledge versus following popular positions unthinkingly. No one entirely agrees with the other. Cherish close bonds that support your growth while maintaining self-trust above all. 7. Indulging excess, lacking restraint leads to greed, gluttony, lust, and materialism, which the Stoics advise against. Practice observing urges, then consciously delay acting to consider wise responses. Apply the moderation in all things mantra using common sense and discipline. Ask, what is just enough? To curb excess. When cravings arise, replace them with enjoyable, low-key activities that nourish without overindulgence. 8. Neglecting self-discipline, succumbing to destructive impulses erodes dignity, revealing a lack of self-command. As the Stoics promoted, living rationally requires governing wild emotions and base desires that undermine higher human potential. Build mind over matter muscles through physical training like vigorous exercise and periodically abstaining from certain pleasures to prove you can. Stay committed to routines requiring grit. Get addicted, breaking bad habits intentionally. 9. Complaining idly, bemoaning problems or perceived wrongdoings fall under pessimism. The Stoics advise correcting through action or acceptance. No one controls everything. When frustrations emerge, express constructively to improve things rather than vent dissatisfaction. Channel energy into working solutions. Manage expectations by distinguishing preferences from realities. Simplify and flow around obstacles gracefully. 10. Refusing to accept change, choosing to fight inevitable transformations or cling to things forever lost represents an irrational denial of life's impermanence. Adapting with Stoic wisdom. Optimism and preparation for uncertainty allows for smooth evolution with life's natural flux. Flexibility, growth, and appreciation of blessings in daily practice lead to positive progress without rigid resistance. Release the future by devoting your entire presence to the emerging now. Implementing the principles above eliminates everyday anti-stoic habits undermining mental resilience. Returning again and again to rationality, courage, and self-control and using challenges as teachers build unshakable character and align choices with universal virtues. The benefits of eliminating these 10 toxic patterns make adopting Stoic consistency worth the discomforts of change.